The best way to kill someone is to make it look like an accident. The gang leader, who was about to swim, would soon die in such an accident, as the leader saw a watch at the bottom of the pool and dove down to retrieve it. Two hands grabbed his head and forced it down into the water. He was quickly drowned. The guards upstairs were about to panic when they saw the leader not moving, but the next second, the leader started swimming again. Only then did they relax and leave. In reality, the killer had dragged the body and was pretending to swim. Amid the chaos, the killer changed into a chef's uniform and quietly slipped away. Back at home, the killer burned all the related materials. The news confirmed that the Black Faction's leader had drowned, ruling it as an accident. The man, Arthur, was known as the best assassin in the industry. He had one rule: never mix emotions with killing. But this time, the target given to him by the organization was his old partner. They had worked together for years, man and partner, sharing intelligence like brothers. Arthur went straight to his superior to question this, but his superior told him that his partner had betrayed the organization and had to be eliminated. Arthur was silent for a long time before finally calling his partner in the middle of the night, urging him to escape. The partner grabbed scissors and a gun, cut the building's power, used the backup elevator, and headed to the parking lot. But when he arrived, he found his car had been sabotaged and realized he had been deceived. Arthur had no intention of letting him escape. He wanted to frame it as a carjacking murder. At this point, the partner offered no resistance. He handed the gun to Arthur, who shot him dead with one bullet. Soon after, the news of his partner's death reached his son, Steve. Steve was a drunkard and a small-time thug, but when he heard of his father's murder, he decided to take things seriously for the first time. He immediately went to find Arthur and asked him to teach him how to become an assassin. Seeing Steve's determination and remembering his old friend's picture, Arthur felt guilty but eventually agreed to train him. Training began with weapons, rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, sniper rifles. Steve was incredibly gifted and quickly learned to hit the bullseye. Afterward, Arthur gave him a manual of various death methods to memorize, helping him learn how to make deaths look like accidents. When training was nearly finished, Steve was ready for his first mission. The target was a burly man with two strange habits. He loved chihuahuas and young men. To get close to him, Steve raised a chihuahua and regularly visited the cafe the man often went to, ordering black coffee and playing with the dog. After 6 weeks, the burly man finally noticed him. Steve casually mentioned that he was homeless, which made the burly man think he was an easy target. Sure enough, the burly man invited him for a drink. That evening, they met at the bar. Steve took out poison but suddenly remembered that Arthur had once used a belt to strangle a target. He put the poison away and decided to use the same method on the burly man. So they went back to his house. Once at the house, Steve pretended to be drunk and suddenly used the belt to strangle the man from behind. However, the burly man easily threw him off with an over-the-shoulder throw. Enraged, the burly man grabbed Steve and smashed him to the ground. Steve was completely overpowered. In a desperate struggle, he grabbed a screwdriver from the table and stabbed the man, turning the tide. In the end, although he succeeded in killing the man, his impulsiveness left him severely injured. From then on, Steve began to obediently follow Arthur for the next mission.